Hi, Scorpio. Hello, my loves. I want to say, I don't know. I've never said that. Hello, my loves. I hope you are doing well, truly and honestly. I know the last reading was a little bit heavy, and you might be still feeling that way, but damn that full moon. Damn, that full moon was amazing, right? Did you feel the weights being lifted? Did you feel the release? Did you feel it? I know you felt it, or you're still feeling it. Maybe you're like, I don't really know what I'm feeling, but it feels like I need to like relax, but I also want to celebrate, but I'm a little bit tired, but I'm full of excitement. You know, if you're feeling that way, this is part of that like karmic cycle closed. I don't know what the hand stuff is, but it's like we're closed for business, baby. There is no more of that going on. And you know this like through and through, soul level, knowing that you have completed something, you have cleared something. That I'm hearing that you are in a trine aspect and not a square. So I was just reading, this is interesting. I was just reading that trines are in your birth chart are kind of like gifts that you're given, easy aspects that you don't really need to work on or do anything with, according to the book I was reading. Others might disagree, but this is what is in my knowledge bank. So that, you know, you don't really need to do anything to be successful in those two planets that are trining. So say you have Saturn and Venus trining, your work, your success in your business and work could be very successful without you trying so hard, right? Something like this. And that gift is given to you for completing a karmic cycle in previous lifetimes, for clearing karma, for doing the work. Whereas squares in the birth chart, and it's not to say you're good or bad, it's just different things, right? Squares in the birth chart are about things that you haven't quite completed, challenging aspects that you need to work on in this lifetime. So I don't know, I guess there's something about that Spirit wants you to know and pay attention to. Yeah, but I feel like you're trining. You're trining. You're trining right now, Scorpio. Okay, let's get a card for Scorpio and get into it. If you're new here, welcome. My name's Andy. If you're returning, welcome back. Okay, Scorpio. The curse. Yes, Scorpio. Why yes? Because this is what's being released. I'm hearing cosmic curse. I don't know. But it feels like, it doesn't mean you're cursed. I feel like you were in a cycle or in an energy that was not beneficial to you. Okay, it could have been with an earth sign, doesn't have to be. But I'm seeing the ancient ones here and the earth keeper. I feel as though this is something, a family cycle, okay? Generational trauma, generational karma that you're clearing. The seer here, you're seeing like psychically, intuitively, your way out of this. And it's interesting because I watch Scorpio quite a bit because of all my 8th house placements, and I've been seeing quite a bit lately. Have you? A lot of readings titled something about like the spell has been broken, the curse is undone, or, you know, these kinds of like really shocking titles. And here we are, right? Of course, these are metaphors. They could be actual, but remember that something is only as powerful as you allow it to be. Okay. So let's see here, Scorpio. Let's see, the curse. Oh yeah, I want to read a little bit about this. I just want to see what the book has to say. Wow, the curse refers to limiting stories of our ancestors and the karma from former lifetimes. Yeah, that preordains the events of our lives. This is definitely what's been cleared. It is the source of negative patterns, and it can show up as a disease, a destructive force, or a blockage on our creative energy. The curse holds us hostage to a false story that we confuse for reality. Recognizing the original wound that is playing out in our life can heal it. Amazing. I just had this significant thing happen here. I'll share it with you, okay? Because I feel like it's relevant. There's two things, and I might have told you this already, Scorpio, but I realized there was a generational karmic pattern where the women in my matrilineal line were moving to the same place when they were every 30 years, right? They would return to another place in the country every 30 years. And I was like on the brink of doing the same thing till I put it all together. And I was like, wait a second. And they didn't have a good experience when they went there. And I was like, what? This is really weird. Maybe I should not do this. And I feel like that was part of breaking it. So you might have broken a pattern in that same kind of way. And then also recognizing the original wound that is playing out in our life can heal, this karma, this ancestral karma. I might do a bigger video about this, but one of my spiritual teachers pointed out to me that I'm too closely identified with the survivor archetype, and that was something that was maybe, not causing a little bit of a blockage for me, which I found interesting because I always, kind of attack the victim consciousness. Like, no, I don't identify with the victim archetype, but the survivor, yeah. And Scorpio, you too, probably, right? Because anybody with a lot of Scorpio influence in their chart, Scorpio placements, has been through some shit. That's just it. That's the bottom line. There's no arguments about it. Okay, there just isn't. And so you could be identifying with that survivor archetype as well. And I won't get into too much of my own self-discovery with that because everybody's journey is their own. But maybe that's something you want to think about. How attached are you to that? What does it mean to not be a survivor? How could you release that? Could you imagine yourself in your life without calling yourself a survivor? And it doesn't mean you haven't survived things, but maybe you're over-identifying with that as opposed to something maybe more positive that didn't rely on trauma as its root of power, right? Okay, Scorpio. Yeah. Okay, so it's asking, did your grandparents live with a mindset of scarcity? Did you inherit genes for heart disease? Were you a slave or a master in a past life? Hopefully not. This karmic legacy is ready and waiting to be seen, untangled, and released. Honor the players and their stories. Forgive everyone and everything. I don't know if we should forgive everyone and everything. That's just my personal opinion. You decide for yourself. Let me know how you feel about forgiveness. But craft a new life course for yourself. That's another thing. The questions. What is the meaning of forgiveness? What is that? Are we just supposed to know what forgiveness is or feel like? Okay. So, beware of your actions. Act with impeccable intention so as not to create a debt or karma that sooner or later someone has to pay. What you do to others, you also do to yourself. So true. And to the people you love the most. Now you have the opportunity to clean it up. Love it, love it, love it. Okay, let's get into your reading, Scorpio. Holy shit, we're 8 minutes in. I'm really chatty today. But I feel like I'm just feeling the release, Scorpio. And thank you for being here for this. The moon. Okay, let's keep going. Let's get the cards out. I'm hearing the drama. The devil. The drama. The 5 of Swords. It's all good. Two more, Spirit. Last one. Oh, we have 2 coming out. The bottom is Judgment. Here's that release. 6 of Wands, victorious. The proverbial curse has been broken. Death at the end. Your card. Okay, let's see what we have here. Current energy, the moon. The unknown. This is interesting because I recorded Virgo on the same day as you, and they had the moon card in this deck as a key theme. And I was saying how the moon is half in the dark and half in the light, right? The new moon and the full moon phases, and you have to balance the two. You have to know the dark and the light, right? To appreciate the moon. Of course, the moon is so important to us. And the ocean, yes, and the ocean. And the tides of the unconscious, right. Okay, what are we saying here? Current energy. Oh, I never noticed this in this card. Look at that rose. Can you see it at the bottom? There's like a battle over a rose in the subconscious. You are defending your inner light. You are defending your beauty. You're defending your ability to rebirth and regenerate. I'm hearing a rose. I feel like this is a saying. I don't know what it is. Tell me if you know it, but it's like, what's a rose without... A rose isn't a rose without its thorns, or something like this I'm hearing. Something about a rose and the thorns, and the thorns. I don't know, but that seems very Scorpio, doesn't it? A rose. Yeah, a rose with thorns. Right, to appreciate the beauty. I'm hearing you leave something as it is, right? Like picking a rose would hurt because of the thorns. So you leave it where it is and you let it do its thing. And I feel like this is someone leaving you alone, okay? And not asking you to be something you're not. Or if somebody wants to pick a rose, aka you, they have to know that there are thorns and that they do exist, and they have to be careful and navigate around them. Very interesting, Scorpio. So this is recognizing all of who you are, stinger and all, you know? And yeah, this is really nice. And I feel like you're not afraid here of who you are and your subconscious and your shadow. You're working through that, most definitely. Current challenge, the 9 of Wands. Well, fuck, how long has this been going on? Right? This is like forever. Yeah, Scorpio, it's constant regeneration, right? The moon has cycles, right? It's always going into the shadow. It's always going to return to the shadow at some point. This is part of who you are, too. But there's magic in that shadow. There's wisdom, there's knowledge. I feel like you're tired. Perhaps even exhausted, some of you. And you have no choice but to keep going. There is no giving up, right? And there is no giving in. It's not easy, your energy, okay? You're freaking the death card. That's not easy. And death is feared by many, right? And you are feared by many. You could even scare yourself at times, your own power. And I feel like the challenge is Three of Swords. But then Judgment with the Ace of Wands. The challenge is knowing that you are a transmuter of shadow. You are a transmuter of pain. You don't always have to go down with it, I'm hearing. Go down with the ship. Something about steering, but you can learn how to steer the ship, but you still have to steer it through a storm. Something like this. It's very metaphorical. This is very dramatic and deep, I feel. But, of course, it would be with the curse. Okay, current support. The Tower. There's your Mars energy. So we have Pluto and Mars here for you, both of your rulers. Your support, Scorpio. Well, do we really need to say more? We all know that Scorpio is quite capable of this. And to varying degrees for different people, right? People experience their Scorpio placements in varied ways depending on the birth chart and life experience and free will. But I think even just knowing you have this capacity inside of you to be that dragon, to set things ablaze, to burn it all to the ground till it's all ash so that you can be reborn. Just knowing you have that capacity within you supports you. It doesn't mean you have to act on it. And maybe at times you will have to, and you'll be called to do so as part of who you are, as part of the package I'm hearing, the map you've been given as a Scorpio in this lifetime. But there's something here about just knowing that you are capable of doing this that supports you. You know, the Nine of Wands is your challenge, which is about, you know, a long battle, being injured, but still having to go on with it. But you are not on the losing end, right? You are this. It's just like I'm hearing war games, right? It's like a strategy. What am I going to do here? How much force and effort do I actually need to apply in any given situation? And you could, of course, take this in a negative context, or you could take this in a positive, higher polarity way. How much spiritual, energetic force do I need to give to this for it to regenerate? At what point, you know, do I take my hands off? I'm hearing the crystal ball. Okay, let's keep going, Scorpio. I am going to do an extended, and we'll get more into something that comes out, I'm hearing. Okay, so let's keep going. What have you overcome? The Knight of Wands. Well, this is you acting this tower energy without really thinking about it. This is like, I feel it. I feel aggravated. I feel angry. I want to lash out because you hurt me. Not because I'm evil, or this is a general reading, but I feel like those who I'm speaking to, you know, it's not because you're evil or you're malicious or you're maniacal. No, it's because fair is fair, I'm hearing. Okay, fair is fair, Scorpio, but also because you're hurt and you feel that energy. And it's not fair, I'm hearing. It's not fair. So you act, right? And that's what you're overcoming. I also feel like if that doesn't resonate, I feel like for some of you, you are overcoming other energies that are like that to you, right? Who push you, prod you, or go in and out of your life, bringing in this fire, bringing in this energy, you know, causing some mayhem and some destruction. And it's like, really, if you want to come in like that, you want to see fire, buddy? I got some fire. This is what you know, right? And this is what's supporting you. But in terms of the curse here, the generational, ancestral, karmic curse, right? Let's say that lightly there, because it's not about having fear or anything like this. There is something here about being led by passion rather than power as it's meant to be. Okay. How did you overcome this? The Devil. Look at you. You did some thinking down there. How am I going to proceed here? There's that fire energy on one shoulder and that protective, you know, cape on the other. It's like, how am I going to deal with this situation? Before I go after something, or before I so-called retaliate or respond or react, even if this means just you with yourself, doesn't mean you're out there doing things to other people. Maybe you're just being hard on yourself, right? You're punishing yourself in some way. You know, you're forcing that rebirth within yourself. Could be for some of you, you know, in a way that's punitive to yourself. You're not doing that anymore. You overcame that because, or it's maybe someone else, but you're thinking about it. Who is ruling me right now? My light or my dark? How can I bring them into balance here so that I know what I'm capable of, but I also know when to exercise that and when not to, and where it's really coming from. So remember I was saying that stuff about the survivor in the beginning, right? It's like the root of if your power is coming from this identity of survivor, like I am powerful because I have survived so many traumas or difficult things in my life, that means that that power is wholly dependent on trauma itself. So wouldn't it make sense that you would get yourself involved in more and more situations that are traumatic in order to amplify your power or to preserve your power, to prove to yourself that you're powerful? This was kind of my revelation, right? And it's like, oh shit. Yeah. So it's something like this. It doesn't have to be that, but it's realizing that right there, the devil, the shadow within, right? The devil within, which we all have in terms of this being a shadow. Throat chakra. All right, stop talking about that. And what does Spirit want you to reflect on right now? 5 of Swords. Think about the times where you did hurt yourself. Maybe someone else, but I feel like also yourself is important to think about. Where you did walk away from something and kind of left them to burn or let it to burn. This could even be something like being really successful in your career and then just suddenly walking away. It's like you let all that effort go up in flames. Why? You know, it's like asking those kinds of questions. Doesn't mean you shouldn't. It's just getting down to it. Seeing the root. Because I'm seeing, it's very clear here that the curse, whatever this is something about destruction. Self-destruction, destroying other things, destroying relationships, getting involved with other people who are destructive and therefore bring that out of you. Okay. Aspect of yourself that needs attention. Queen of Cups. It's like, now we have the cups coming in, also with the advice, Ace of Cups. This is such a gentle energy, right? Like compared to everything we've been talking about. This is self-love, of course. It's reflection about what you want. But interestingly enough, this depiction of the Queen of Cups, she's not looking inside of her chalice or horn, you know, which typically in the Rider-Waite, she's looking right at that cup, right? She's so focused on self-love and what it is that she wants. This queen, her eyesight is beyond the cup. So she already knows what makes her happy. She already knows what fulfills her. She's just looking out into the world to see what's there to match what she already has. And your advice is the Ace of Cups. There is something out there. There is someone or some energy or some opportunity out there who does match your cup, meaning your lightness, the aspects of you that you love, your self-respect. There's somebody out there who will respect you just as much as you respect yourself. I feel like you're calling in new love or a revitalization of that loving energy because you know who you are. It's because you know who you are. The powerful you that you are. Like Pluto, power in a positive way. This is a shift. This is a shift for you. Okay. What's coming up for you? Death. Stepping into you. This is actually quite amazing because maybe you want to watch Virgo. I don't know if you have Virgo in your chart because they also had an Ace of Cups come in and then they also had their major arcana, the Hermit card, come in as the end as well. So this is like a completion, maybe for more than one sign, but maybe there's something interesting about those two energies working together at this time here. Okay, but this is you stepping into your full power. This is you actually having that transformation. This is you putting an end to that karmic, ancestral curse or generational trauma that you've been working with. You're stepping into the light of the seer here. We have the mystical shaman underneath that. This is you using your scorpionic powers of death and rebirth for the greatest good of yourself and therefore for all. Now, the extra card that came out was the Ace of Swords. So I feel like you might be a little bit nervous about this self-realization about your power. 5 of Wands. And there's something coming to me now because the last time you were aware of the powerful being that you are, like you were criticized or you were punished or something happened to you to take your power away. So your association with power has like a negative spin on it because somebody tried to take your power away, which you just hid, you know, so that they couldn't do that. You hid it, and maybe even from yourself. And so now that it's coming out, you might be a little bit nervous here about somebody taking it from you. But remember, they can't. They can't, and I'm hearing, and they won't. They won't. Because you know what's inside of you, and you know what you're capable of. Damn, Scorpio. I'm going to get a closing card. Interestingly, I didn't mean to pick up this deck, but I'm seeing I won't cry for you. Could be a particular message there. But let's get a closing card for you, and then I'm going to go into your extend, and we're just going to go deeper into this. We're going to see what's going on here and who's coming towards you. What other messages Spirit wants to say. But let's get a closing card here for Scorpio. Energy. Oh, interesting. And there's the Virgo symbol. Maybe there is something interesting to work with the Virgo. Where is Virgo in your chart? Very cool. Don't forget that energy you have. Oh yeah, and you came out a lot in Virgo's reading. Very cool. All right. I'll link it at the end, actually, if you're interested. Put in the little box thing that should already be on the screen somewhere. Okay. I love you so much. I'll see you next time.